And we are back. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fort Worth as we get ready for our first matchup of the day. It's going to be your Salt Lake City champions, Spacestation Gaming, taking on Cloud9. This is going to be an exciting matchup, 100%, but I am also excited to be here because for the first time, it's been 84 years. Dave, we're casting a video game together.
It's been a minute, GB.
Yes, it has. A whole minute. And a very long minute, as a matter of fact. Some say, you know, dreadful, right? I mean, you're probably going to be wanting me to go away after the Big Team Battle Bonanza on Sunday. You know, again, because I'm going to walk away with the championship one more time. Isn't that right, Dave?
Uncertain, because I have a sick roster. I was already talking with some of the VIPs, and I was asking who's the best at Big Team Battle.
Are you serious?
Yes, I asked who has BTB experience, because I get to select one of the VIPs.
I hate
we're ready. I've already talked with 2 or 3 of my teammates.
You're the worst. Just let's take a look at the series layout here. Of course, we got Livefire, King of the Hill. Then it's going to be Slayer, Streets. And then we're taking it over to Recharge for some strongholds. And then if necessary, we've got Aquarius, Capture the Flag, followed by Livefire, Slayer to close things out. But to echo what was being said on the desk, this is going to be an uphill battle for Cloud9, 100%. And it's apropos as well, because this is the first time that these orgs, or I should say the SSG guys, are playing against their former Cloud9 organization. So, you know, hashtag storylines.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, playing against this roster who supported them for so long and this org. But like you said before, it is an uphill battle. Spacestation, they've just looked so strong all season long. We haven't really seen them have these low moments and, you know, pick it up on Saturday/Sunday. It's more like they're just consistently good all the time, and they're only losing to the best teams. Yeah,
and Clutch is already out there making broad proclamations. SSG is going to win the event, but that's not an absurd prediction given that I agreed with what was being said. It was only a matter of time before SSG had won an event, and what a way to do it in their home territory. They ended that one 4-0 in the grand finals against Sentinel. Of course, they're probably looking forward to maybe getting another clean sweep here as we start things off King of the Hill on Livefire, but Cloud9, don't sleep on them. Don't sleep on any teams in the HCS because you never know what could happen, Dave.
Yeah, we called them open bracket warriors. I mean, if you come out of open bracket and you've had to work your way up to being one of these top 8 teams, you've been forged by fire. You have had to deal with people challenging you over and over again. You're winning individual battles because that's what it takes to win in a situation like the open bracket. And Bound get that sniper right away, gets a nice flank on Nemassist.
Already looking good so far. You got 2 players going to be circling around back green there, but with the sniper on the prowl, that is an easy clear for SSG as they're going to get control and now start to prepare themselves for the overshield.
Yeah, looked like Cloud9 opted to go straight for the hill, which is usually a good, strong starting strat here on Livefire King of the Hill. Somehow does not get the finish, and that's going to be OS going in the hands of Cloud9.
That was a great play there. Unfortunately for Bound, could not find the overshield, and instead it's going to go in the very capable hands of Nemassist. He's actually been playing relatively solid for the squad, been putting up some decent numbers for the team, and they're really going to be leaning on his slaying prowess, and he gets the kill on the Eco in order to keep them going in this game. That's going to be a double, and then StelluR comes in for the cleanup.
And just look at that. Every single kill that Nemassist hit right there, 6 shots, great plays, but there was always follow-up from Spacestation.
Yeah.
Even when you're able to pull something out of your sleeve like that, pull a trick out of your sleeve, they have another member there around to finish up the kill.
Yeah, it just goes to show you that you can go ahead and get 1 kill against Spacestation, but they're always going to have the numbers or at least the positioning to put themselves in that spot. They're going to be on you like white on rice, and that is literally what is happening right now. Spacestation's on the move. StelluR underneath pillars gets a clean shot on the Nemassist. Big Slayer there is going to pretty much remove him from the equation, but a nice clear from Rammyy, who's actually back mud, just trying to protect that and just prevent anyone from trying to make the push happen so they can set up for this hill right here.
First point on the board, trying to hold over towards C-Plat, and the damage is coming in from all these angles. Coming over from Sandbag, coming over from Nest. And it just feels like it's so effortless when Spacestation put their sights onto a hill, they just charge over and take that area.
Yeah, it really is, and we'll see if that actually works out for them here, because so far so good. They're able to clear the player. Beautiful jump there by Penguin, just good tech to get him away from that situation and keep him in the fight still, and that is going to open things up for the overshield grab from Eco. Now, Don't let his stats fool you. The man's been setting up his team, 5 assists, ensuring that they're just getting the kills when it matters most. And he's using that overshield, playing it in a forward position and not allowing Cloud9 to encroach onto that hill.
Just making it so difficult for Cloud9 to make a push together. Forcing players to come, chasing down over in the tunnels, taking one-on-ones over near green. Just every single time after an engagement, repositioning and forcing Cloud9 to not know where OS is.
Yeah. 2 down right now. That OS did get drained by Eco, but the damage was certainly done there. And you're just really now just going to be picking up the rest of this time on the hill. That's going to be 2 points on the board for your Salt Lake City. I keep saying St. Louis City. Don't know why. I mean, American topography is very difficult for me. But yes, a beautiful run here from Spacestation. Gets them 2 points easily on the board now. And just look at the pressure that they're applying. And they always have the power weapons. And Sceptify, you got to be careful. Watch your head there, pal. And unfortunately, you also have to watch your back because you're getting pressure from Spacestation over toward the big door, too.
Wasn't sure if we're about to see a repeat of Salt Lake City from StelluR.
You mean St. Louis City?
From St. Louis City.
St. Louis City!
But StelluR was just going off absolutely in those finals. Every single time he had the sniper, he was hitting every single shot. So right there, still hit a lot of great shots, pushing over towards the garage, but not the same sort of showmanship that we saw on Sunday at SLC.
For sure. And you know, something else to point out too is, like, statistically speaking, when you look at Cloud9 and how they're, you know, keeping up with Spacestation, they're not doing all that bad. But what it's boiling down to, it's exactly as you saw on that second hill. The pushes, the way that Spacestation are able to isolate members of Cloud9 and prevent them from being able to just get any kind of presence on any of these pushes. I mean, just look at this here. You have so many players that are one shot, and then Bound just goes in for the pickup, and that's just easy pickings for them. 3 down.
It seems like easy pickings, but the more important piece there was Bound being the only one on the hill, realizing that he has to go over and help support near OS.
Yeah.
Unafraid to give up a few seconds of time in the hill to get control on the greater portion of the map.
And I have no doubt that the Cloud9 players are trying to do it, but Spacestation's effectiveness and the way that they work with one another is so clean. Good pickup, though. They're going to be able to clear out that player and now try and work on the house here. Try and see if they can get a point on the board because, Dave, they're so close.
Yeah, if Rammyy and crew are able to secure this next round of kills, they're going to get this first point. But here comes the push in from Sandbags. Bound and Rammyy both go down.
Big trade there. Actually end up getting the kill. Triton, so he's still alive, but look at StelluR on the prowl. He's got the heat wave. He's coming on in. Sceptify, you got 2 players, 3 players, but instead he's going to get Mario stomped, and then that is going to be StelluR out of here and a point on the board for Cloud9.
And look at this, not content with just that point. Instead, going to take a little more control. Great shots there from the heat wave onto Bound. But also just great awareness all around there. When you saw Triton going through tunnels, you saw instantly looking up towards that vent to see if he can get any bank shots in towards top center and help his teammates out.
Spawn's coming in from the nest. You have 1 player over toward mid. Triton's going to be feeling the pressure here, but look at Sceptify with the assistance now. Try and hit some big ones, and that was unfortunate for him, but that is going to keep that player weak, and at least for the time being, and open things up just a little bit here for Spacestation so they can start to make their way inside and maybe claim themselves another overshield.
And Triton also was getting a little greedy there. He figured he was just going to get the melee damage and get the kill there. Decided to save his last heat wave bullet. Now that's going to come back to bite them because Spacestation are going to know when that goes back on spawn, and you know Elomane's going to be timing that just slightly better than Cloud9.
Spacestation now have control of their 3rd hill. To see the progress that was made for C9. 1 big break here could pretty much be a success for C9 and force him off of this position here, but Pznguin getting a double kill. I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen. Control is looking fantastic, and I think perhaps Cloud9 are going to make one last concerted effort to make this push happen, Dave.
And look at this. Both teams having a very similar strategy as that hill gets into its final moments. They decided to dogpile on the hill. You're not worrying about the greater map control. You don't have to push out way too far because if a push is going to come in, it's going to come in fast, and it's going to be right at the hill. So they just overload members in the hill. That's what happened last time over in the garage when StelluR pushed in with Heatwave. He was met with 3 different players in the hill, and similarly so, Spacestation set up perfectly at the OS hill. They have Pznguin and Bound just sitting in the hill to fight any 2-on-2s.
They had enough time to work with that as well. Clean shot from Eco. He's just going to continue to patrol the outside here with the sniper rifle and just continue to have full control. control of this area. I mean, just look at that, right? Body shot on the Tritons, can't do anything. He's pretty much stuck in the corner. And now you just have all these players that are just going to be running into a snipe. Now, granted, you do clear this player, so it's just going to make things a little bit more difficult for Spacestation. C9 have to remove that from the equation, and they do just that. They have 2 players from SSG down.
Yeah, great play there by Spacestation 2, not to get too tunnel vision and just chase down that one-shot player or just desperately nade across the map. They knew that so much pressure is moving across. And that entire time, they were getting hill time.
Yep.
If you know you're getting hill time, yes, getting kills, getting more map control is good, but end of the day, the goal is hill time. And if they can just keep them at bay, keep them pushed back towards back green, they got the hill to over 60% during that standoff.
Big fight there, by the way. You were talking about, you know, playing your location and how you wanted to try and approach the hill, and actually got to give credit to Triton and the rest of C9 for being able to get back into this one here. But all it takes is one big clear for SSG, and they will basically end this game here and now. And this is looking like it's going to happen. His bound's going to push up into mid, able to get himself a double kill, and he's just going to hold this one down. One more challenge coming in, a trade, and the help is there. But perhaps Nemassist with this overshield could do something. He's going to get forced away by the repulsor and get drained. Absolutely obliterated with that overshield, and no go on that one. SSG 4-1 managed to pick up live fire, King of the Hill.
Just getting spotted out with that OS, running in through the plasmas.
My guy got melted.
It's one of those things where if he makes it past that little doorway and he gets out into the open, he's in a much better spot. But as soon as they notice OS coming through there, nades are flying.
With so many respawns, the 2 nades up, who knows what else, if they were able to pick up. I think I saw 1 or 2 plasmas as well. It was really difficult for you to just try and push that with the OS, and there were no other options for him.
Yeah,
he made the best
didn't
play
have the time
could.
to push over to C-Plat, didn't have any of those sort of options based on the timing. Had to get there as fast as possible, but just got spotted out, got repulsed back, just nothing going his way.
And everything going in the way of Spacestation Gaming as they're able to pick up and pretty much pick up where they left off. Just absolute domination. They were 4-0 in the grand finals in St. Louis City and SLC Salt Lake City. They were 4-0 over there, and now they're just continuing on their winning ways. Has to feel pretty good for this SSG team to really feel like they got their sea legs under them, and now they have that confidence to be able to do what they know they're capable of doing. You know what I mean? Yeah,
it's a very interesting mentality, and how you're able to just get that, like you said, that ego or confidence after getting that win in your belt. Because by no means are Space Station playing any better or worse or any different from before. It's just they now have the result to back it up this season. They had the result plenty of times before.
Indeed they have, and those results speak volume, and I think it just also speaks to how much this team has grown over the course of this season. Since the pickup, how much Bound has grown, how much StelluR has really shined in the role of being a dominant Slayer. There's just been so much evolution for Space Station Gaming, and that is part of the reason why, you know, you got to try and change things up a little bit and see where you can find those successes. And I think SSG did just that. Very well done from them throughout their season, and now they're just going to continue onward here. C9 need to stop them here now. Perhaps a Slayer could be the option for them.
Slayer on the streets, gonna settle it there, but it is going to be tough. I feel like Space Station, like Tony said before on the desk, they don't really have any weaknesses. You're not like, hey, if we play it slow against Space Station, things are gonna be fine, or if we speed up against Space Station, things will be great.
Yeah.
No, they're just fine in all those different paces of the game.
Beginning of the game, Eco had 0 kills for like a hot minute, but guess what? He had 5 assists, 6, 7 assists and counting. Like, even when you think you have a weakness there, someone from SSG is gonna be there to essentially fill the gap. And that is why this team is so scary. And this is what C9 are gonna have to find here, because I'm seeing the glimpses of it, the moments where they find that success, but then it's about how do you play off of that? How do you play off of, you know, the big plays, the big swings that you manage to pull through? Because you know with C9, the talent is certainly there.
Absolutely. Well, if they're going to have to pull off anything here, they're going to have to get another strong start. They got the first half of the hill over on Livefire King of the Hill. However, they weren't able to secure that first sniper. They somehow snuck away with that first OS, I believe. So they're going to have to get the strong start, see if they can get the way of these rockets, and if they can do anything else beyond that. So
keep those rockets out of SSG's hands. If you pick them up, wonderful. But otherwise, just try and prevent them from being able to get control.
What?
Look at that push. That was beautiful. Just coming up right through B Street into Old Town and then made his way into steps.
2 incredible kills there. Getting that Bulldog, getting a Slay, Nemassist grabbing the rockets. But the part that was most impressive to me is how much this has evolved off the start. No longer is there just like this stagnant standoff. from teams just holding there. Instead, Pznguin, who's already pushing out from Dumpster, is getting grenaded out in the courtyard at the bottom of B stairs. People know where these players are moving at the start.
It's almost, it's like the opening gambit that you see now really dictates so much. And that's literally what's happening right here. You have a 4-kill lead just purely off of that opening play in of itself. But now the real question is, can Cloud9 keep this going? Can they maintain this kind of momentum? Because so far, so good for the boys in blue.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad to trade when you have this lead, but they're also not in a full-on trade scenario. They want to continue to extend this lead a little further because you know the longer this game goes on, the more comfortable Spacestation are going to get. They're going to get their opportunities to get some slays, get some spawn traps, but that's going to be kills traded out. That's 3 down again for Spacestation, so Cloud9 just doing great with a 6-kill lead.
Yeah, StelluR on the flank, but yeah, you're so right with that one, David. And I think part of that as well, give credit to Nemassist really preventing that push, forcing all of SSG to have to go and take the steps, which gave them just more kills, 3 more frags that were just going to add to this overall total that is now starting to, you know, peel away little by little. And even in this particular instance there, StelluR stuck in a bad spot. The follow-up comes through, Sceptify gets the frag. But look at this, as they're all trying to push up C9 in the base of Spacestation.
Sceptify, last one remaining over at Tram. Least knows where 2 members of Spacestation are now. Cloud9 have a tough decision. Do they sit back and hold their ground over a tower? Or are they going to take a little more ground? But looks like the fence is already in front of their base. Pznguin with Bulldog over at top tower.
Decision was made
and this is the time where we're going to see Spacestation kind of in control for the first time of this game.
Yeah, and because of that one play there has now led to a tied game. Rockets back in the hands of Spacestation. Brilliantly done, honestly, by Pznguin to just apply that pressure up front and not give that player in the balcony any opportunities to try and be a part of that fight so they can freely go pick up his power weapon.
And that's just one of the scary things about a team like Spacestation when they get control. We saw about Cloud9 for the first 3 minutes of the game, or first 2 minutes of the game. They were in control. Anytime they would get a little bit of a lead, they pull ahead by another kill or 2. The second that Spacestation got control, they closed that 6-kill gap instantly. And all of a sudden, they now have a 4-kill lead. So it went from essentially a 10-kill swing here for Spacestation when they got things going their way.
Love the use of the sandbox here by Pznguin. And you're so right, Dave. They have now just added this effortless 6-kill lead that we're starting to see build up here. And all of that came off of one play. That's one of the reasons why I love this game so much, is because there's snowball effects, right? Little things that happen here or something that happens here that you get so much more that can follow from that. And just Pznguin's one life that he used to push up into the A side of the map. Now he's brought this back over to the other. He's still alive and he's still a problem. This is incredible.
And just the way he maneuvers around the map is so impressive. He saw that player all the way towards Bomb A Tower. Instead, used the pillar right in front of that courtyard and isolates a 1v1 near bottom of B stairs. He knows that a grenade's not coming anytime soon from someone at bottom A tower. That person's just lasered in, trying to get some BR shots across the map.
And he's
just
savage.
Brilliant play across this entire exchange.
Also, keep in mind, Pznguin has not had a BR. He hasn't had any. He's been rolling around with mostly power weapons and semi-power weapons, right? He had the Sentinel Beam. He's now got himself the Bulldog. Like, he's really taking advantage of the sandbox and playing this one life. While all this is going on, Spacestation adds an additional 5 kills to their lead total here. What a run that we're seeing Pznguin go on. No fear, not a care in the world. Picks up a gun from someone else, for goodness sake.
And also, what a way to, if you're gonna die as one shot, letting the opposing team use a rocket for that death. He also eats a rocket for his death. Like the most optimal way to take a death, going to no shields and then taking a rocket hit.
A round of slays, though, could bring Cloud9 right back into this. They have to play this one intelligently. They do have some control, and they do get the kill on the eco. So that's pinning these players in the back, and they're going to need to work together, and that is unfortunate. We just saw Nemassist get picked up there by Bound. But a big pickup by Triton, gets a double kill of his own, keeps himself in this one, but unfortunately, with all that's going on, you're still getting 1 or 2 more kills added for SSG.
Still not too scary, like you said, though. It's going to be one of those situations where Cloud9, they showed in the first couple minutes that they can take control. They can scrap back those kills or 2, but they're going to have to be playing the way they were early on. Or is it just one of those things that maybe Spacestation woke up, Spacestation aren't going to fall for any of those tricks anymore. Maybe it's not just the initial break and the punishments after that.
but also just look at the way that they played around this, right? A good example of what we just saw. I believe that, I forget who that was in the front. I think it was Nemassist or Triton. In any case, they were PD by themselves. There was so much pressure being applied on the cafe side of the map that it just allowed StelluR to push up with his teammate freely, and that one player was having to hold off too. And that's just not going to happen, especially when they have the Stalker Rifle and it's hitting the way that it is. Spacestation plays off of their info very well, and not only that, they isolate battles effectively, and that's the reason why you're seeing SSG just add so much to the scoreboard here. Just look at the awareness.
Yeah, my other takeaway too as to what's been going right for Spacestation or what's been going wrong for Cloud9 is that it feels that even a time where Cloud9 gets a couple slays or gets broken out of a bad position, they aren't taking as much ground across the map as we were seeing initially in the game.
Yeah.
It feels like you said, that whole run where Pznguin pushed over towards A tower just felt like they were all stuck at tower and PD, and we have yet to see Cloud9 really kind of disperse across the map. We see them all stuck over in PD. Those are the last couple members left. And oh my God, that was a fortunate nade that has reflected that rocket into the doorway.
But what is fortunate for SSG is they walk away with a 7-kill lead, 50-43. It was a close game at the beginning. Cloud9 with an incredible opening strat to get themselves map control. But it's so difficult to play against a team that they push together. They know exactly when they want to make those plays happen. These aren't blind pushes that we're seeing here. They know what resources they have available to them, and they're communicating that, and then they're pushing effectively as a result, Dave. This is meticulous Halo that we're seeing being played. And even though that last round, led to a closer game for C9, I think that also just speaks to the fact that C9 is a good team. C9 can compete. It's those minute details that are really hurting them here.
Yeah, that's the tough part, is like Cloud9 can absolutely surpass and be better than Spacestation during parts of the game.
Yeah.
It's just, they're not doing it during the majority of the game.
Yeah,
that's what's happening. It's tough. Yeah, it's tough
really
to do
tough
that
because they're not letting you.
Yeah,
right?
They're one of the best teams in the world. Spacestation are arguably the best in the world right now since they won the most recent tournament. So, yes, it's not like Cloud9's outclassed every turn of the way. They were the better team, especially the first couple minutes. They had their moments, and looking over here, this is where we saw, that was the great play that I was talking about from Pznguin.
Yeah.
When he had that person, bottom A tower, you saw that person got back smacked by his teammate as well.
Yeah.
Just those things do not show up on the stat screen.
Yeah.
It does not show up how much attention you're taking away from an opponent that you're setting up your teammate to just get it back.
That whole run that Pznguin had on that one life basically set the tempo of the game and just continued to allow SSG to just add on to this. And also, too, I think an important thing to note as well, it's SSG's use of the sandbox as well, right? Controlling the Bulldog, picking up, the red gun, picking up the rockets, picking up everything that you need in order to prevent your opponent from getting back into that game. And when we saw those semi-power weapons, right, like the Bulldog, used at the beginning of the game for Cloud9, oh, look, would you look at that? Great effect. They were able to get that opening strat successfully, get power weapons, but to do that time and time again, it's so difficult against the Salt Lake City champion.
Yeah, that's a fair point. We rarely saw like any Sentinel beam kills or Stalker rifle kills or Bulldog kills outside of those first couple minutes from Cloud9.
Exactly.
Whereas Spacestation the rest of the time, you basically saw them running around with that weapon the entire game.
The sandbox is there, baby. Strong. Use it. But also, to that point, I think it's important to note, too, that SSG just do a brilliant job of controlling it as well, right?
Yes.
And that is really where the crux of it comes from. Having that kind of map control and the confidence in your team to be able to control the map effectively leads to those great gains, leads to those power weapons being acquired. And for Cloud9, they were simply just trying to survive and to try and get back into the game and tie the series up. Because once they lost the lead, Dave, they never gained it back.
Yeah, after that point, like I said, even times where they exchanged kills, it felt like Spacestation, when they were in a neutral scenario, took up more ground across the map. They just had either better control of the spawns or better awareness of how far they could push out.
Yeah.
Whereas Cloud9, sometimes they were almost feeling like they were waiting for full power, or waiting for their teammates to know where they can or should go. And before they make a decision, they're already met with some resistance. Players from Spacestation are already up in their face towards tower, where they're already taking street. And at that point, if they already have that ground, it's so much tougher to take it away from them.
Yeah, it really is. It really, really is. Now that puts us in a really precarious position here for Cloud9, as they are down 2-0 in this series. If you're just joining us, welcome to HCS Fort Worth. We're excited to be here in Texas yet again all weekend long, and watching our our Salt Lake City champions, Santissimo. I can't freaking get this thing right. You would think. I'm glad I didn't work the event. The amount of times I would have screwed it up, Dave, I would have been fired. I should have been fired already.
You're yelling at the crowd. How y'all doing, St. Louis City?
What's up, St. Louis City? And then one guy's like, yeah. Wait, what? Jeez Louise. Anywho, see how this one goes now as we have some recharge strongholds on the docket. And the records for these two teams as well are just absurd. I mean, for SSG, they just continue to add on. And it seems like there's a recharge strongholds to settle it all. We'll see, though. Now it's going to need to be a reverse sweep from Cloud9 in order for them to be able to win this series. Or if you're just joining us here, of course, SSG continuing on their winning ways from Salt Lake City with a 4-1 and 50-43 conclusion on those last two maps. Now we get ready here for recharge. And we were seeing a little bit of that recharge strongholds just a little while, or sorry, recharge oddball a little while ago. But this time around, we're taking it to strongholds, and we'll see if Cloud9 can do what, you know, coach was saying and really find that consistency. Get back into the series here. You know you have the tools to do it. You know you have the talent. But you have to find a way to shut down the impeccable teamwork of Spacestation Gaming, which is no easy thing to do.
Absolutely not. Now, I was super impressed with Cloud9's start on Street Slayer. Can they recreate that magic here on Recharge King of the Hill? And Recharge Strongholds. And it looks like to be a pretty strong start, taking out StelluR and Pznguin, getting half cap on B.
Now, these openings are pretty damn good for Cloud9. You got to give them their flowers there because they do such a brilliant job of, beautiful shot from StelluR, but they do such a great job of giving themselves those openings, those opportunities. Unfortunately for them, though, not really going to lead to all that much because SSG will take control of A and B. And with the spawn, one player actually over toward Long Haul, that player is going to be isolated. This big push now starting to come in from pipe side of the map. You have so many weak players here, but they somehow manage to get the better of it. Can he survive it? No. Instead, it's going to be Pznguin who manages to get the stop on the cap on B.
And that's going to be a strong step here. And look at this. Pznguin just going to go instantly towards elevator, make sure to block spawns, stop any sort of charge. Right now, they're in a position that Cloud9 have to make the push. They have to make something happen. Spacestation will happily sit back and just scrap up all this time and all those points.
Look at the help that they're getting as well. Pznguin's going to be one shot, getting challenged on the side, plays his life to perfection. And that is just going to lead to Eco with the help as well, and they'll continue to hold this one down. They have to get the resets on B, but they're not being threatened, so it's not really that going to be not going to be a priority, so to speak. Here is more red players from C9 are going to be trying to charge up in the long haul, and they can't get out of C.
Yeah, and look at this interesting position switch here from Spacestation. Before, when they very first got their setup, they were worried about defense more. You saw them pushing over towards elevator. You saw them just playing defense towards B. Now they put themselves in more offensive positions there. They went over towards control. You saw Pznguin and Bound going towards glass to get ready to push towards long haul in case they got the kills. If they came out ahead, they were going to push for that trip cap.
Just prepared for the openings that they were giving them. Now though, Nemassist, looking to see Nemassist really just come online here. Sceptify though, kind of does everything for the team. Objective efficiency, he also slays effectively as well. Rammyy went for the chase. Pznguin though is going to beat him. That's a clean double kill, potentially a triple here. Triton, not careful, trapped in the open, is going to win that out courtesy of Nemassist up top orange pipes. And this is going to put StelluR in a really bad spot. So they'll continue to hold this down. And now we start to finally see Cloud9 gain some points, but the push is starting to come through from SSG. But they're going to play their lives and just make sure that they can continue to hold on to this position here at World.
Yeah, Cloud9 need to hold on this a little bit longer. It looks like we have Spacestation pushing all the way on over towards C, and that one's been reset, going back and forth, changing hands. So battle's going on over towards C plat throughout all these exchanges as well.
Good flip on the other side. You're going to go for A if you're Cloud9, so that this way you have those easier transitions over from B to A to be able to defend, especially with the grapple shot as well. You can really make up a lot of ground. We're seeing Pznguin do it a little bit earlier on. You also got yourself the shock rifle too. Perhaps this is all going to be looking good here, but you don't want to get too overzealous with a trip cap, but perhaps that's what they're going to need. They're going to need to just get back into this game with something bombastic like that.
I like it. I mean, they had a couple of kills. They have the exact positions, know where their players are at long haul. Push that, put that pressure on them. Bound, desperately jumping in B, trying to stop this bleeding from a trip cap. Gets the conversion, but going to drop shortly by Rammyy from top control.
And while all that was going on, the attention being put toward B, you had StelluR on the push-up toward A, getting control of this again, and we're right back where we started for SSG. They identified what the flaw was, and then they just played their life and stayed alive long enough to just yank that attention forward, and now they've opened up the map for them yet again.
Yeah, and that's a difficult position for Cloud9 to be in as well. A lot of times once you get that trip cap, all the normal strategies kind of go out the book. It's sort of like, hey, we have positioning, isolate whatever fight you can, keep this going on as long as possible. And in many cases, you don't just go from a trip cap to barely losing one stronghold. Instead, there's a lot of times where you kind of lose full control because everyone's overextending a little bit. You're trying to push that a little bit further than you can get.
And when you think about that trip cap as well and why it hurt them so much, beautiful back whack there by Eco. He's just going to hold this down. And also get the flip for a trip cap of their own. So SSG doing the thing that, when you look and reflect on what the two trip caps were, Cloud9, they invested so many resources into that trip cap that they had players towards C, and those spawns were coming in hot, so they were perfectly fine to be able to give that up, SSG. Meanwhile, on the other side, that was such a clean trip cap that now they're just patrolling around the map and just stopping anyone where they can. And this is really just putting the onus on C9 to have to group up in a location, cap it, so that they can at least get back into this game.
But it's going to be a tall order because, I mean, when we talk through a lot of trip caps, it's, you know, can you get that 50 to 100 points? So we're talking about a near perfect trip cap here from Cloud9 if they're going to have to bring this one back. And they have a really good position, though. They see two of these members out in the open. StelluR having to reload, gets outplayed and outshot, and now we're going to have to see how Cloud9 decides. Do they decide to guard C? And they have no one in position. So must be an unfortunate timing with these spawns from Cloud9 side.
Yeah, and it seemed like as well what really affected them there was they didn't have the numbers to try and challenge that effectively. Oh, that's a stick. And I think that will really just bite them in the butt there as we go further into this Strongholds game. They're just continuing to add on 181 to 63. Pznguin just continuing to do everything that he can to just take value out of this life, add shots, do damage, prevent any of these players from feeling comfortable, but they could not clear the player on B. Finally, it's going to happen for him, though. He knows exactly where that other player is going to be positioned. Big fight.
Yeah, whether that was a guaranteed call-out, if not, just their awareness of where players are on the map is just unparalleled. They know, all right, someone's not shooting me from glass. That means they're pushing all the way through long haul. They're gonna go to sneaky ledge or through C-plat and just knew exactly. But based on the way Pznguin was looking with that much certainty, I bet there was a call out there.
Oh, 100%. And also another big call. Oh, look at that. Pound was not expecting that one. But I was going to mention another camo grab for SSG. So Cloud9 have just not been able to control any of the power items on this map outside of the few times that we saw like Nemassist get his hands on the shock rifle or, you know, able to like clear in the back halls. But for the most part, this has been just complete control on the map from SSG. And on top of that, on the scoreboard too. So it's been really, really difficult for C9 to get back in this one. A beautiful shot from StelluR. Good try, Rammyy. Good try.
And he was getting pinched from 3 different sides. One at bottom pipe, one from glass. Obviously, someone laying shots all the way over from turbine, and somehow still gets the kill and stays alive. And clearly, when he knows people are coming from one angle, he's going to confidently charge and challenge that.
And these players just being pinned inside of the orange pipes. It's a trip cap. They got to get out of here. They got to move right now. And they have to charge over to a side, pick an area and go. And they decided to go over toward A. But Spacestation, no, just that. And StelluR's literally by himself, just holding this down with the shock rifle, while 3 members of SSG were holding down A.
But also, look at what SSG are doing during that entire time. Like you said, they're all pushing towards A. But with StelluR's information, he knew nobody was going to push over towards long haul. They knew that area was fully clear since they didn't challenge StelluR yet. So StelluR said, don't be anywhere near C.
Nope.
Go on over towards A. Overload elevator. Get eyes on battery. It's going to be anywhere but C.
Yeah, and the smart play was to go for A. Unfortunately, though, they just didn't have the time. SSG were set up, and C9 were out of options. And that is going to be Spacestation Gaming continuing on their winning ways with another sweep. This time around, it's here in Fort Worth, Texas. And SSG are looking like a team that wants to win it all, Dave.
They're looking mighty good. The other thing that was really impressive there during that game was it wasn't like it was heavy outslaying from SSG.
No,
it was really strong position. Yes. They only outslide by 2 kills during that game. There's 54 kills for Spacestation and 52 kills for Cloud9. So just, like you said, out-positioning, knowing where they need to fight their battles, doing a better job of out-rotating. Anytime they'd win a 1v1 or push 1v1, they were getting hill time from it, or getting a stronghold converted.
And when you look at also like the stats too, I mean, you had multiple players from SSG, well over 6 assists, 2 players in double-digit assists as well. So you just had a lot of help. You know, they were constantly shooting, constantly applying damage wherever they could, and then giving their teammates an opening to be able to get those frags. It's so difficult to play against a system like that where you just have no options. You push out, you get shot immediately, and then someone's there on cleanup duty. Absolutely impeccable play from Spacestation Gaming. Cloud9 certainly going to be licking their wounds here, but I think we learned a lot from this C9 team. We know they have good ideas. We know that they can't, when they have those ideas, they can execute them effectively, but what they have to be worried about is that mid-game, that mid-rounding. How do they kind of, I use a Valorant term, funny enough, how do they really try and work together in the mid-games like that, right?
Yeah, no, we saw the good starts. We saw they can hang when it comes to the slaying department, just getting outworked in the objective department. But, you know, rather than hearing me and GB break it down, we got Blaze on the stage with Pznguin. Take it away.